Live from New York, it's Ask This Engineer.
Hey everybody, and welcome to Wednesday night Ask Engineer. It's the most fun you can have while engineering.
It's true.
Me, Lady Ada, the engineer. With me, Mr. Lady Ada. We also got Blinka the Snake behind us. And we're at the Adafruit factory.
Yeah, Blinka sees something. It's like, what's up there?
Hello.
Yeah.
Maybe she's just laughing.
Yeah.
We got an exciting show for you tonight, broadcasting live from the Adafruit factory here in downtown Manhattan, where we do all the design, test, manufacture, shipping, kitting, documentation for all the boards that you know and love, the electronics that make the dreams come true. We got an exciting show for you tonight.
We do.
Lots of news and lots of great new products.
Yeah, a couple videos too.
Excellent videos coming at you live. Tell them what's on tonight's show.
On tonight's show, the code is Hannah. 10% off a Adafruit store all the way up to 11:59 p.m. or when I remember to turn off the code. I like this code because it's spelled the same both ways. It supports us, an open source hardware company. Here's some of us here. We make the kits, we ship the kits, we write the code. We do all the stuff that makes Adafruit what Adafruit is. We are not owned by another company or have loans or venture capital or anything. So that means we can keep doing this weird thing called Ask an Engineer. Just buy something once in a while. Thanks.
Thank you.
Yeah. Show and tell people around the world showing and sharing their projects. Lady A will go over those. Back of the mail bag, we'll stop by, read your letters, time travel, look back in the world of makers, hackers, artists, engineers, current events, and more. We have some 3D printing, we've got some new products, we got some questions and answers that we're going to do. You put those in Discord, adafruit.it/Discord.
Sign up.
Yep, and we of course have trivia question, giveaways, something, all that and more on Ask an Engineer. Okay.
Ask an Engineer.
Well, let's do some bill paying.
Yep.
All right. So first up, go to Hannah.
Hannah.
And in our store, we have free stuff, and Lady Ada can talk about what the free stuff is.
I would love to tell you about the free stuff. When you order stuff from the Adafruit.com shop, not only do you get the best quality electronics that money can buy, but you also give you the best electronics for free. You get, at $99 or more, a free PermaProto half-size breadboard. This awesome PermaProto PCB is ready to take your project from breadboard to finality. It's good quality, gold-plated contacts. It's got that like nice white background, so it looks just like a breadboard. $200 or more, you get free UPS ground shipping in the Continental USA. Good quality shipping where you get the tracking number and it actually shows up. Not like Sure, Smart, whatever post. And $299 or more, you get a free Circuit Playground Express, the most popular 10 out of 10 learn to program electronics board ever made, by far, no question.
That's what we're told.
No, we're told. We just know.
Yeah.
And it's yours for free. You can use MakeCode with it, which is block-based programming if you're just learning how to program for the first time. CircuitPython if you want to learn Python, but do it with electronics. Or you can use it with the Arduino IDE. It's natively supported. It's an official board in the Arduino IDE. So all that stuff is available for you when you buy stuff from Adafruit.com. That's why you should buy stuff.
That's right.
To support us and get free things.
That's right. And just note on shipping, we have UPS, Postal, and DHL. DHL is the one we use for international. You want to do that?
Domestic, and international.
And if you're in New York before 11 a.m. to place your order, there is same-day shipping available. Okay, Lady Ada, every week we do the show and tell. A little bit of a programming note. Next week, Noah and Pedro and team will be running the show and tell. You have a talk that you have to give, so it just happens to be on a Wednesday. So they'll be running.
They can handle it.
It'll be fine. They'll be running the show and tell. So it'll be next week. So everything should still work out. But help them out, everybody. Because
give them
this is a weird contraption getting all this video stuff to run. Internationally, people are coming together, showing and sharing their projects every single week.
We've trained everybody on how to do show and tell stuff. Everyone's so good with their microphones, so I think that the community's going to help.
The community got it. And I also put in there like for best results, because like sometimes it doesn't matter. It's like we had a project where you didn't even need sound.
No, we totally didn't need sound for that project.
So what was
okay? We had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 people on the show and tell. GP showed off this week's project. He's doing a little bit of AdaBox 007 stuff. Check out amazing guides that he's written. And if you have an AdaBox 7 coming on the way, you'll love this project. He's taking one of the projects that he did for AdaBox 7, which is a capacitive touch Gemma password keeper, and he built into a tiki torch that he got for $3.99 plus tax. Good deal. Noah and Pedro showed off this week's project, also AdaBox themed. It's a parametric Lego compatible laptop cover that you can use with your phone, laptop, iPad, computer, monitor, whatever, and also a beautiful AdaBot minifig. We'll show the video for more details. Ian showed off a project many months in the making. It's the Gorilla Clock. It has a Pi Zero. It has a 16:32 RGB matrix. It's running Python, and it's an MTA clock, so it shows when the next bus is showing up, which is always late. Oh, no, just kidding. Just kidding. Scrolls by, and it's a beautiful wooden case. Lovely job with that. Chris made a night light, and the photo sensors get covered, the LEDs turned on, but instead of a transistor, he used a vacuum tube. So this is like the most intense retro nightlight ever. He has a boost converter for the heater filament and all that good stuff. And just it's gorgeous. There's a gigantic tube that acts as the transistor to turn on the LEDs. Christopher did Maker Charades, but it was great because we got to really check out his NeoPixel animation hat. It had Space Invader animation, it had Pac-Man animation, it had Game of Life, it had scrolling text, all controlled by his iPad. This was epic because not only did he have the LEDs going around the top hat, but on the top and on the rim. Most LEDs ever. Curtis made a punch-in, punch-out clock with a Raspberry Pi and an NFC reader, one of the ones that we sell, and it logs to SQLite, so if you want to keep track of people coming in and out of a location or a house or a party or a event or work, you can make this punch-in-out clock. He even said he had a video up on it. JMK is keeping up on the multi-login system that they've been working on. This week, multi-login is added, so if everyone has their own unique code, it will detect who you are. And the codes are really long. They're 9 digits, so you don't have to worry about people guessing the code. Way too long. Also, there's a new Pi 3B Plus. He picked one up, and he's kind of experimenting with it and learning that sometimes old products don't work perfectly with new products, so a little bit of hacking required, but I think it's going to work out. Coding Pro is doing more Discord bot work, writing JavaScript and npm.js code, and showed off this little coin transfer system so people can buy stuff with the bot. Kind of cool. Sophie talked about and demoed her new guide. It's the conductive heater fabric with reactive paint. So we got that heater fabric a couple months ago, and we use a thermal camera to show off that it gets hot when you put electricity through it. But she actually painted the fabric with paint that changes color with the temperature, so you can make cool effects when electricity is applied. Blitz City is doing some itsy bitsy projects. Loves the itsy bitsy. Zach is doing LED suit hacking and using a thermal camera for debugging the power management of it looks like 10 reels of NeoPixel LEDs. Massive. And Adam has the SEM working better than ever. I've never seen the SEM work as good. The most ever SEM quality hacking. And this week he's showing some metallurgy forensics by zooming in really, really, really close to a copper wire. You can see the grooves in the copper wire, and then when you bend the wire, you can see deformations, and you can tell a lot about what the wire is made out of and how it was bent by looking at the grooves and how these bend marks and they change and deform. I don't know, it's cool. You check it out. It's pretty sweet SEM hacking, and that was the show and tell.
All participants on the show and tell get an SE known as show and tell sticker. Email support@adafruit.com. and we shall send you out one. This is part of our Adafruit live series of shows. John Park has shows that he does. So last week, JP did JP's workshop as a Tiki Password Vault. He showed that on the show and tell. He also has next week, which is going to be AdaBox unboxing.
That's Tuesday.
That'll be Tuesday at 9 p.m. Eastern. And then he'll be doing Ask an Engineer in the Ask an Engineer slot. So he'll be doing a show on Wednesday night because it's going to be out.
Yep.
So we'll see how that goes. Packed mailbag. So we read these letters to everyone in our company every single week at our meeting called State of the Fruit. But since we're a community company, we read these to everybody here too. So this week's letter comes from David. You guys are awesome. Adafruit gives me a whole new playground of cool, fun, creative possibilities. I'm going to introduce my 11-year-old daughter to these products. Maybe she can start as a hobby and eventually grow a business in the long run. Wow, I'm really familiar with electronics, so it's going to be fun and exciting learning about this creative LED world, David.
That's right.
Yeah.
It's more fun when there's color.
Yeah. Like he said, also a business.
Yeah.
And that's what I think that's one of the neat pieces of emails or things when young people meet you. They want to make electronics, but they also see that it can be fun running a business.
Mogul.
Yeah.
They're like, I want to be electronics mogul. It's awesome.
You can never get bored running a business. It's
never boring.
It's not for everybody, but it's you can do a lot. You can, and if you do a good job, you can have a cool community. And speaking of, so every week we have our Code Plus community, our Circuit Python segment that we talk about. This week I wanted to go over a couple of things. So we're going to do these major release ideas.
Yeah.
So every time there's a major release of Circuit Python. So we had 1 and 2, and we'll get to those, but we're going to have 3. So I'm talking to Bruce, our designer, and I was talking to the team, and I'm like, okay, I'm going to draw a sketch.
Yeah.
And then like, here's an idea that it could be. It could be like that old box art. So I drew this snake.
This is totally a game for the Atari 2600.
Yeah, it was like, and then that's a tribute to MOSFET and everything, and that's a SAMD processor.
Where you're like the snake, and you have to collect the numbers, and there's the chips.
So we'll have some ideas and more, but I just wanted to share this. I did this on my iPad.
How did you draw the underneath of the chip?
Underneath the chip?
Yeah, the bottom.
Yeah, what about it?
How did you draw that?
I just drew with the pen.
Wow, you got all the little pads and everything.
Yeah, well, I had this thing where you look at the thing, and I drew the best I could, and then I just sat there with the little tiny, the iPad pencil. It's pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty good. And then I used...
so you use that as your tablet?
I use that as my tablet, and I also used an app called AstroPad Studio.
Okay.
So it uses the tablet as kind of like those Wacom screens that used to be really expensive.
Yeah.
Now it's use an iPad. Yeah. So anyways.
Cool.
So next up...
so art.
Yeah, so next up, we revamped the Adafruit Daily newsletter, and this is our very specific Adafruit Daily logo for Circuit Python. And what we did this week was we have ways for the entire community, and we did a blog post about this, to add your Circuit Python, MicroPython, Python, and hardware links. So this was one. This is a link in there. Just wanted to give you a sample of nowhere else will you see this stuff.
Yes, this is
no one else is obsessed as we are.
This is a PyBoard clone in the wild.
Yeah.
Which is very interesting. I'm not actually, when I talk about clones, I mean, this is an open source hardware project, and it does follow the license, it gives attribution. What I think is interesting is when you see derivatives of boards, that's when you know they're succeeding. It's one of those, we talked about this. It's like piracy is the tax on success. Yeah. I remember when you were at Make, you would log into, at the time it was like Pirate Bay, but whatever, the sharing, the peer-to-peer sharing sites, and you would look to see how often people were downloading Make. Because it told you, it's like if people are pirating Make or sharing Make outside of the
you used to do stats.
channels.
It used to be like, are people pirating Make more than Popular Scientist Month? Yay!
Because it tells you, it's like, okay, it's popular on its own merit. So you should still totally buy the original PyBoard because it helps support Damien George and the MicroPython project. But what's interesting is that this is a signal that the project is succeeding very well.
Yeah, well, it was like Arduinos. Like there was variants of Arduinos, and just straight up, there was clones, which are not counterfeits or trademark or violations, or just identical hardware. And then we see a menagerie of different things. We see stuff from, ideally people aren't putting the Adafruit logo on stuff, but there'll be variants and people have made.
It shows that there's a healthy ecology. Yeah. It's counterintuitive. You'd think like, this is like, why would you do that? But it's a good sign. Yeah.
And we saw that with the microbit. There's microbit variants in China. So anyways, so we're obsessed. And
there's Raspberry Pi variants. I mean, now if you're making like you saw, because I've ordered one of every single board Linux computer, all the ones that didn't look like a Raspberry Pi are starting to look like a Raspberry Pi. It's becoming, it's becoming the standard. I'm sure Raspberry Pi is a little annoyed because they're like, all these boards look confusing because all of them look a lot like a Pi. But overall, it's good for the consumers.
We look at all things going on in Python and hardware, and there's one spot where you can get it delivered. Adafruit Daily, spam-free. It's a separate site. We never do anything. There's no pop-ups. There's no nothing.
You're going to see stuff we don't blog because it's like maybe...
Yeah, it's just like quick links and stuff like that.
Quick links, and updates, new libraries, everything you ever want to know about Python on microcontrollers.
Yeah. And we also went over some of the boards that we've been putting CircuitPython on, and we had a guest, and this is a graphic from Raspberry Pi, and it was Toll.
Yay!
Nicholas
and that's
Toll.
the logo for
and and we interviewed him. I'm going to play this whole interview is on YouTube right now, youtube.com/Adafruit. It's about an hour, and I also made a request about I would like
new
to see
logo, please.
But you worked on the plotter inside Moo.
Yeah,
Moo's an easy to use coding. I would say it's like rapid coding for young people, and we talked
low
about,
friction.
Yeah, we talked about that a lot. So I have a 7-minute. I just took a 7-minute segment out, and this is just 7 minutes of the plotter. I'm doing some stuff with you, and we're asking questions about stuff. So let's just play just a 7-minute segment.
Okay, and check out the hour-long video on our site.
Yeah, you should.
We talked actually. One thing we're mentioning is. You've made a lot of upgrades, so you've added Pygame 0.
Yep.
000. You had Pygame 0 as a mode. Recently, you also added Adafruit CircuitPython mode, which is really awesome. And that's what I really like about it. So my favorite thing about the CircuitPython mode and why I suggest Moo is it automatically detects the board via USB and will pop up the REPL, so you don't have to know like the serial port, which is like a huge problem for beginners.
Yeah.
Because on every computer it's slightly different. On my Mac, it's like /cu dev /. It's really hard for them, and then you have to take a terminal. So it's nice is that you just click REPL and it will just like pop up the REPL, and you know that it's there, and we made it so it prints out the version and everything when you begin, so that which is a common issue, like if people don't know what version they're running, it's like, okay, well, get you started. It prints out, help. We took that idea from MicroPython. I love that. Type in help to get help, and
I'm so pleased you said that, because the help on the microbit is one thing I actually did right, and we spent an awful lot of time not only just trying to fit it all in, but because we thought these are going to be 11-year-olds using this, we had to write for a reading age for 11.
Yeah.
So how do you explain
something?
Whatever this abstract thing is that you've got to explain, but you've got to do it in about 16 words for an 11-year-old.
Yeah.
And that was a really challenging thing to do, but it was good fun. I'm pleased that you're using that. So I have. So here we are. We're in CircuitPython mode. Okay, and here's one I prepared earlier.
And we have a CircuitPython that's plugged into your computer.
It's real.
Here. Yeah, it's real.
Okay.
And so let's have a look at the REPL.
We had done some stuff.
So it was running and doing stuff. So this is not Python running on my laptop here. This is Python running on. This is CircuitPython running on this board here. So I can ask for help and do things like that.
You're only running 2.1. You got to upgrade.
Yeah. So this is an old board, and so I can.
During modules, I think is the thing.
Yeah, I can do standard sort of Python stuff there. But what I've got, I'll switch the REPL off here, is just a very simple piece of code. Okay, and what it does is it emits via USB serial numbers as a Python tuple.
Yeah.
Okay. Where's it getting those numbers from? I'm pleased you asked. Well,
where's it getting those numbers from?
There's a light sensor and there's a sort of temperature thermistor on there, isn't there? And so what it's doing is it's just in a loop and it's just reading what those
and our goal with this was to make hardware so simple that you can just create analog, like all the simplicity of just saying like I want to create this thing and it just does it. And I really like, for me, like I've been doing Arduino and C and C++ and AVR GCC programming for over 10 years. And it was just like very frustrating that it was like just to get Blink or an analog read working, there was so much stuff you had to do. And I want to say, like, let's make it as simple as possible. So that's why we have like this standard board. You know, board's the same on every board, and we have analog I/O. It's the same in time. It's a standard Python time. So we've actually tried to make it as Python 3 compatible, and also cross-platform, because we're going to introduce. We have some examples here. There's lots of boards that are. Have micro or CircuitPython on them.
Here we go. This is the family right now. Scott Shawcroft is a lead.
He's
Dan,
brilliant as well, by the way.
Lamar, Dean, who's even over here. But this is the family of boards, and kudos for Lady Ada, like getting all the sensors in, and then getting this to like $20, and then finding something like Moo and Python, and then CircuitPython, based on Damien's work with MicroPython. Like this is fun.
And it's like so easy.
But if you look at the code, what have you got? You've got Python saying, these are the things I need.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I like how they're named the thing they are.
Yeah. Okay. These are the things I'm going to use.
And then there's just your
And
wallet.
then this is what I want you to do with it.
Is that all
Keep
the code?
looping around.
Is that all
sleep
the
for a little
code?
bit.
That's it.
That's it. And
This is
then
the
I want
entire
you to.
software.
There's no more code in
Yeah.
this.
Okay. So,
Crazy.
so if I save that, I don't know, and restart.
You shouldn't have to restart unless you're doing something.
I'm just checking.
You're picky.
Yeah,
and we
yeah,
have
yeah.
auto. It should auto reset. One of our things
Yeah.
we added, which when Scott first mentioned this, I was like, "That's weird." Is he said when you save the file, the Circuit
run.
Python runtime detects the mass
Yeah.
storage event and will actually reload it. And you can turn it off if
Yeah.
you want. It's an option you can turn off in boot.py, but it makes it you can just type save, and it immediately changes.
Yeah.
Yes, for some robotics, you don't want that to happen. For 99% of projects,
Yeah.
it works quite well, and it skips that whole like, okay, well, I'm compiling, and now you're waiting like 20 seconds. It's like
Yeah.
it's instant, which
This is
I
the
enjoy.
very tight feedback that we
Yeah.
were talking about with kids.
Which
know.
you need.
You don't want to sit there because what are kids going to do in 20 seconds?
No, they're already
gonna
off.
get distracted.
They're gone.
and-
They're already like checking the phones.
and you sit there and you wait, and it's judgy, and in the end, there's
Yeah.
just a bunch of errors, and,
Yeah.
and like that's a typical compile
Yeah.
send, and you're just like, oh no, we lost them.
Yeah.
We lost them. They're
Okay, so let's
gone.
look at the REPL.
All right.
Okay, so what we should see, if I restart the board,
I don't know if you saved it.
let's see.
Did you save it to the right location?
Yeah,
there-
okay, there we
There
go.
we go.
I didn't click the save
Look at
button.
this.
Okay,
So
so,
that-
what
it's
we're
coming
getting,
off this board right here.
we're getting light. So if I put my hand over
And
it,
this is one of the things that
you can see the numbers on the right are
this
going
is
up
a
and down.
standard project in most microcontrollers. But when I saw this, I was like, well, this is good. But the problem is, it's actually really hard to see.
Yeah, yeah.
You have to get it reactive, but then it's hard for humans to just read the numbers because they're going so fast.
It's funny you should mention that because
So I said, hey, maybe
you
we
plot
can have a
that?
plotter.
It'd be like neat if it could be plotted.
well,
So we worked together, and I
Yep.
submitted some code, and it turns out that there's actually Qt has a
Look at this. Look at this. So you put your hand there, and then what's happening over here? Do that again.
amazing. Qt has a nice graphing. I think which is one of the nice things about Python. PyQt, which you're using, it really has the kitchen sink built in.
yeah, yeah.
So I was like, well, I guess we could like hand draw all this, but there was actually a plotter that you
Yeah.
just give it, a list of tuples, and there's a little bit of redrawing and resizing, but you can basically have it plot. It's perfect for sensing, and then
So this is again the very quick feedback that we were talking about.
Yeah.
You're looking at numbers, and kids need to interpret what do
Yeah.
those numbers mean. But if it's drawn for them,
Yeah, this is a hello world for sensors, and
Yeah,
I've
yeah,
not
exactly.
heard anyone talk about this until recently, which is like, how do you? Okay, we get that kids are going to need to program, and it's like hello world, so text, but then
Yeah.
like hello world for the physical world.
Yeah.
Well, sensors. So we do light, we do sound.
yeah.
And this is it. Like we've got a shot now.
So the thing is,
Okay, so that's just a snippet of the interview. So you see all sorts of neat things. Also, we have the Programming with MicroPython book. It's in our store. And,
Pick it up.
Yeah. And like I usually do, when there's an author, we trap them and they write nice things.
Write nice
Here it
things.
is, thing, yeah.
Yay,
I have
thank
I think I
you.
have the biggest collection of like maker books that are signed. It goes for the Maker Museum.
yeah, this is a great book.
Okay.
Pick it up. All about MicroPython and some
Alrighty.
CircuitPython.
So next up, we have some time travel. So look back to more
Alright.
makers, hackers, artists, engineers. Tomorrow, the next Women in Hardware video is out. This is an interview with Danielle Applestone, Alex Glow from Hackster, Lady Ada, and Danielle's going to talk about Bantam, formerly known
Bantam.
as Othermill.
Look at her
So,
shirt.
yeah.
She's even got a chicken on her.
So this is another great interview, another female CEO running electronics hardware company, and
I've known Danielle for so long. She's always been
Yeah.
just such a hard worker.
Yeah.
So focused.
she's also now working on a effort for women to get into manufacturing jobs, and we'll have it's like Daughters of Rosie or something like that. We'll have links on that video, and that's coming out tomorrow.
Okay.
Also in time travel, Lady Ada, do you know what this is?
No, I don't know what that is.
Don't. So happy.
is that?
Yeah, this is neat. This is a cool story. Happy birthday, 1895. Angela Ruiz Robles was a Spanish teacher, writer, pioneer, and the inventor of the mechanical precursor to the electronic book. In 1949, Ruiz was awarded the Spanish patent for the mechanical encyclopedia. So this was way, way ahead of any ebook technology. She made a device consisting of a series of text and illustration on reels, all under a sheet of magnifying glass and a light for reading in the dark. It was to incorporate spoken descriptions of each topic.
Whoa.
And it's in the National Science and Technology Museum. And this is what it is. So this was
That's cool.
this was an ebook before there was even ebooks. And so
Neat.
I thought that'd be neat to have.
It looks like, oh yeah, the reels and
yeah, then it lights up.
then there's windows that the reels go through.
Yeah.
Cool.
So I thought that was kind of neat.
What a cool idea.
Yeah, that's on our time travel section.
Okay.
Some Maker Biz news in the time travel. Congrats to the folks at Red Bear
Bear.
and also Particles. So Red Bear joined Particle. This is, I think, more of a an acquihire or something. So Red Bear makes like Bluetooth stuff,
Yeah,
like
because
Arduino shaped.
Yeah, the Red Bear hardware, they're going to support it for the rest of this year and the next year. But they're probably going to fold a lot of that hardware and software design that they've done into the particle boards. Red Bear, for a very long time, has been a leader in Nordic Bluetooth Low Energy development. They've done various boards, like nano boards. I think they had a Kickstarter or two. They're really good at IoT development at the low not low end, like minimal, but like the development of the lower levels of the hardware. That's the hardest stuff, right? Being able to really squeeze the most performance out of these chipsets. And Particle, which is they're moving to their feather compatible particle mesh boards. They're using the Nordic NRF52, which Red Bear has a lot of experience with. Particle, you know, if you're not like a Nordic firmware expert, and like, trust me, I know this because we have two Nordic firmware experts.
You know, like all two.
I know like two of them. They literally wrote the book on this. It's just a skill that you have had and honed over the years of knowing Bluetooth, knowing the mesh, knowing how Nordic does stuff. This is smart. Like Particle, they want to get to market really fast. That's their business, is launching and getting it out there. Having Red Bear come on and help them with the firmware was a smart move.
So this is one of the things, like, I wish I had more time. I was talking to Chad because I showed some sketches, and I'm just like, I used to draw a photo for you. I would take a photo or like draw a picture for you every day. But like that was before we were running an Adafruit.
This
like
was
just two of us.
a long time ago.
Yeah. But one of the things we still do, and I still try to do, and I have some of the team members at Adafruit do this, is if you're watching the market and you're looking at where companies are purchasing things, where it's going, if you have that knowledge, you can really make some smart decisions. So you have to be obsessed about this market. Like Particle, they're using the Feather format, and we know Zach. And there's this Bluetooth IoT world, and they have Red Bear. Like, this is really interesting and really good for makers. And also, the folks at Particle and Zach, their CEO, these are good people. So this is a good home for Red Bear. If it wasn't, I would just skip this part in the news. No, if it was like terrible, like if it's terrible, I just don't put it in the news.
Yeah.
No, because like another
say
beautiful
anything.
journey.
Yeah.
One thing that I did post on the Maker Business section was Ship. They were a company, like they would ship anything for you.
They had a location in New York.
Yeah, they closed that down and they laid everybody off for like a wonderful journey. And like that's just keeping an eye on the market. But anyways, if you go to our Maker Business section on the blog, you'll see a lot of this stuff. Lots of clues. This is a shout out to Caitlin's dad, who always makes neat things. So I'm Charlie Brown in this one.
You look great. It looks
you're
just
Lucy.
like you.
I do feel like someone puts the ball out and moves it from me sometimes, but that's Adabot, which is Snoopy. So I thought that was kind of neat. Also in the news, you are in Hackspace. So
subscribe.
Yeah, this is the latest Hackspace, and it's issue 5. This is becoming, like they said, for the Modern Maker, one of the best magazines out there. So
dude, 5 issues in and it's epic.
You've got Diode, you've got still Popular Science, Popular Mechanics. Now is a good time to be a maker. So they also have this deal where if you subscribe, even starting right now, you get a Circuit Playground Express.
If you subscribe, you get it. If you subscribe to a 1-year print subscription, you get a free Circuit Playground Express. And I talk about the design of the Circuit Playground Express, and I'm eating one. So
you can.
It's a good party.
Yeah, and shout out to Hep for these great photos too. Thank you, Hep.
Thanks, Hep.
So this is neat, and this is, I think, yet another good example. We are what we celebrate, and I really like that. Hackspace, Sophie has been in it. Becky's been in it. So this is good. This is really good. So kudos to the Raspberry Pi Foundation, who not only support Moo, but they do this magazine as well. Also, we posted up a link on this. You were in ink. They mixed you up with Helen, so it says
that's
you're
okay.
Helen.
We look almost the same.
Yeah. So, anyways, they had 4 women that are innovating. So, congrats, Lady.
We call out like Aya's amazing
these are great.
eyeliner. I mean, like she just does an amazing eyeliner. And she's an amazing woman.
And the other thing that I wanted to put in here is, so these are the new emojis that I think Apple is going to be releasing, and their assistive technology and more. This is really cool. So I think these are going to get added for the 2019 ones.
Yeah.
I just wanted to say, like, look at this. It's
so cool.
Prosthetics, some of the technologies that go along with it. This is neat.
Assistive dogs and it's interesting. There's a seeing eye dog and an assistive dog. So there's two kinds of wheelchairs.
And and this is my segue into this. So we normally do an open source hardware segment.
Yeah.
But Bill from AT Makers sent me a video to play, and so this is Bill, assistive technology, and the whole. He's going to explain everything. He has a good radio voice.
He does.
And he sounds like an announcer.
No, he's a great presenter. Yeah. Take it away, Bill.
Hi, this is Bill from AT Makers, and I'm really happy to be updating you on a project we're working on for an AT user in Sacramento. Now, that user is David Beckauer. He is a relatively young attorney in Sacramento, California. He has SMA type 2, which is a debilitating disease of the neural system, the neurons. Some of you who are Adafruit fans or are on AT Makers may know that this is the same disease that Chris Young, our friend from Indiana, deals with. Now, David reached out to us because he wanted to be able to control his own suction device. Now, if you think about going to the dentist, that's exactly the same kind of suction device we're talking about, but people with severe motor restrictions and disabilities have the need to suction out their mouth, their saliva regularly. And in David's case, he did not want to have to rely on an assistant or a family member or caregiver to do that for him, which I think is perfectly reasonable. And he's been having a hard time for several years getting that done through the proper channels, and instead he reached out to us. So as fate would have it, I was in Sacramento over the past few weeks, and I stopped by and tried to help out David, and we had some good success. So I'd like to introduce you to him and kind of show you where we ended up. So hi, this is Bill from AT Makers, and I'm here with David Beckauer.
That's right.
And we are showing off a couple of interesting things we have here. The first is we have a suction device, sucks saliva and things like that. And you've tried for years to get this something you could activate on your own.
Right. Just have the independence to do it myself.
Absolutely. And so I know you emailed the company and started a website called worthyofyourtime.com. So if you'd like to go there, you can follow along. And we were unsuccessful so far. But we actually did take one apart. He shipped me one, and I went ahead and added an AT jack to it. And you'll see we have an AT switch. Not yet. I see. So we have an AT switch in David's hand, and he now can activate that. But it wasn't quite enough because it doesn't move the suction to your mouth. So yesterday I went to Fry's and made a kind of sort of half-hearted attempt to do this. I would love to have a robotics team in the area, in the Sacramento area, take over this, because I'd love to have this be a long-term engineering support for you. We're working on that. I have a couple teams that I'm talking to, but they're not ready yet. So in here is a Feather, a little Arduino compatible, with a relay and a servo driving software. And it's going to move this about 15 or 20 degrees when you hit your button, and then turn on. It's going to turn on your pump, and then move the servo. And then when you hit your switch again, it will move it away and turn it off. And it's going to be close enough. We may not be spot on the first attempt here, but we are doing okay. So you ready? Beautiful. That's awesome. So now David and his crew here are going to need a lot of perfecting the positioning on this. Possibly need to do some changes on speed as well. But generally speaking, this works better. It's a good start, right? All right. So I appreciate you letting us video this and share it with the folks who made all this equipment. And I will reach out to the... we're going to have a chat with the manufacturers of the suction pump, because they really should be adding that jack without us having to do the ugliness we had to do there, right?
Yeah.
So hopefully they'll do that, and I'm glad this is working for you.
Absolutely. Awesome.
All right. Great. Bye. So just to very quickly review what we actually did here, we took an off-the-shelf commercial portable suction device, cracked it open, and added a AT jack in parallel with the main power switch. That let David turn it on and off, but that wasn't enough. He needed to be able to move the suction tube to his mouth. To do that, I just looked at what I had. I had a blue fruit feather, a relay wing on me, of course, and I ran to Fry's and bought a very inexpensive servo motor. As you can see, it's a pretty basic circuit. The relay wing is just popped onto the feather, and we have 3 wires going out to the servo. Once that was done, it was just basic hacking. We have some metal supports, a Pelican box, a bunch of Instamorph to hold his gooseneck on, and that's all there was to it. Now, this is not the best solution in the world for him, but it works, and it's a start. And if you're in the Sacramento area and you want to get a great service project for your robotics club or any kind of a maker group, let us know. We'll be happy to get you in touch with David and give you all the help you need to get started. So I want to thank David, his family, his caregivers, and all the folks who welcomed us into their home to do this. I also want to thank the folks up at Adafruit who make the materials necessary to make this happen, and those of you who joined us on atmakers.org and our Facebook group. You guys made this a great community, and I love working with you all.
Okay, and thank you so much, Bill. I put this in the chat, but when you release code and hardware and software and you do it open source and other people can do stuff, you have no idea how much it can help people. You'll never be able to guess all the places and all the people. So
I like how it's perfect because it's like everybody has their own needs, and it's like they're like, I need a machine that does exactly what I need. Instead of waiting around for like 6-7 years for somebody to maybe invent it, you can work with your community and invent it for yourself.
Yeah. So like it says, helping makers help others. Okay, speaking of open source hardware, in September, there's the Open Source Hardware Summit. We're helping get the word out, so check it out at oshwa.org. We're a supporter. You can tell, we have our logo there.
Yay!
On the big board of open projects, 1,424. Lady Ada, what's on the big board this week?
We have nearing into 1,500, guys.
Getting there.
All right, so we had the USB foot switch controller and CircuitPython. That was last week's 3D Hangouts 3D printed project. The massive AdaBox 7 guide. AdaBox 7s are shipping. A lot of people are getting them. They're posting photos. We don't want to spoil it, so don't go there unless you want to know exactly what's in your AdaBox 7, because it's going to tell you, and it has all the guides. We also have an unboxing next Tuesday with John Parks, so check the blog or the AdaBox 7 site. I'll tell you all about that. We have a spy theme playback device. It's kind of fun. We just made just showing how to play audio clips, like little songs, using RTTL, which is ringtone something like standard. It's basically, the way you got ringtones on your old Nokia phone. We can play those on your CircuitPython device with your Gemma or your Circuit Playground. So we show you how to do that. We've got a Dave Estelle's Beginning Digital Circuits guide. He kind of came up with this idea. He wanted to write about the beginnings of electronics, starting from like binary and NAND gates. So if you're interested in that, he's got some great diagrams and text to teach you. This week's 3D Hangouts project is the webcam cover-up Lego brick with Adabot minifig. We'll show that video shortly. The guide for this week's new project, the Adafruit AS72626 6-channel visible light sensor. It comes with Arduino and CircuitPython code, and the perfect pitch machine. This was on show and tell 2 weeks ago, and Isaac Wellish did an amazing job with this guide. It's CircuitPython. And it's basically mimicking those little wheel pitch machines, but uses electronics and CircuitPython to do so. And finally, Sophie Wong did a really beautiful experimental guide, not like a final project, but just playing around with conductive heater fabric and then painting it with thermochromic ink. So paint and ink that changes color when heated. So you can see an experiment here. It's painted on top of the fabric. As the fabric heats up with the red and black wires, the ink changes color from a gray to pink color. So it could be interesting for costuming, fashion, cosplay. I don't even know. Just it's kind of a cool effect.
Good work using the logo on brand. Thank you, Sophie.
Yeah, nice work.
Okay, next up, we have some made in New York City. We got some videos. I just put those in right now, so I have to figure out which ones have sound or not. So we'll see. Here we go. This is the board loader.
This is sped up, but
Yeah.
each PCB gets pushed out. Looks like it's feathers maybe, and they get pick and placed by the machine up top.
And this is some visual inspection that we do.
Yep.
So we take these big photos.
Yeah, we see that photo is used by the people when they make the first few panels. We check them by hand and then put them back and continue on to the oven, which is the final step of assembly.
So that's testing.
This is the thermal feather wing tester, so you can tell we have a little camera output that you can test with your hand. You can see that it's working.
This is the tester.
You know, GPS feather wing. So testing it out when it beeps and you see the LED, you know it's working.
And here's our little screens.
Yeah, this is screen actually. I'm going to show off later. It's an adorable little high quality screen, and this is what the demo does.
And since there was snow, that's what the pick and place saw outside the window last week. It was
Well,
like
it's
snow.
snowing.
It was snowing last week.
Yeah, remember?
Now it's
we
like-
had a nor'easter
Yeah.
on Wednesday.
Meep meep.
We had 3 nor'easters in a row. This is probably can't keep track of them.
So that was the Made in New York City. We have some IoT news. Something's coming soon, probably this week.
What
Maybe,
could it be?
Maybe early next week. The next one is services, and big shout out to Digiki who has helped make these videos possible. These are the hardest, most challenging videos because IoT is confusing, it's weird, it's hard. There's tons of services. We're releasing services soon. And speaking of services, we have Adafruit IO. So if you ever wanted to have an IO friendly, data friendly, privacy friendly,
Maker friendly,
Adafruit,
but also high quality.
yeah, Adafruit.io, and we also have the pay-for version for the people who want to do way more than the free version. We'll always have a free version.
And it helps support development so we can add more capabilities and stuff to Adafruit.io.
Okay, 3D printing. Noah and Pedro have some fun projects this week. This was the little toppers that we showed on the show and tell. We also have a video.
Minifigs.
Hey, what's up guys? Today we're 3D printing LEGO compatible webcam covers. We also made a fully articulating Adabot minifig. These tiny parts are so dimensionally accurate that the claw hands on this little guy can actually hold onto cables. We designed this to be a topper for your desktop that can hold all sorts of LEGO pieces. This allows you to adorn your monitor with your favorite LEGO creations. The bricks can be customized to hold larger pieces so you can build mini sets. Our Adabot minifig is 3D printed in 2 colors using a dual extruder. This adds more detail to the design, making it look much more polished and colorful. These pieces are designed to snap fit together, so it's really easy to assemble. We designed the proportions to be minifig scale so Adabot can fit into vehicles and spaceships. These parts were 3D printed with a layer height of just 100 microns, which gives them really fine quality. The little bolt in the center of the brick gives it that extra detail. The topper also doubles as a security blanket, so you can just slide the cover over to block your webcam. We designed the bricks in Fusion 360 with user parameters, so it's really easy to customize. The bricks scale perfectly when adding more or less studs, making it fully parametric. It's also really useful for dialing in the tolerances for your 3D printer. There's lots of room on widescreen desktops and laptops, so you can add as many as you like. They can surprisingly hold some weight, like this mini set from the LEGO Women of NASA. So whether you want a full cast of minifigs or just a singleton, you can easily swap them out to match your mood or fit the season. And if you want more Adabot, we also have a large size model you can download in 3D print. Thanks so much for watching, and don't forget to subscribe for more 3D printing projects from Adafruit.
Yogi, and then we have a sped up. Zoom. Well, that star person is in space right now, but this is the little minifig that they made.
Yeah, and like look at this. It's like perfect. Like it actually, you can turn the head, and it's Lego compatible. This is amazing. It's like the best quality 3D print I've ever seen. Anyways, just wanted to show it off because it's so cool looking. Anyways, print one of your own. You can have your little AdaBot friend hanging out on your 3D printed pick and place.
Okay. And just a reminder, we have 3D Hangouts every single week, Wednesday. Then Paige will be running show and tell next week. And then we also have AdaBox next week. So 9 p.m.
AdaBox unboxing.
Tuesday, next week, April 3rd. And we're not going to do any like weird April Fool stuff. Don't worry about that. I think it's a little out of hand because like every Google map doesn't work.
I know, gosh.
Like,
It's a pun.
Look, it's a product and it's a breadboard, stuff like that.
It's like the one day a year that all the engineers want to be funny. Sign up for AdaBox 8 though.
Yep,
open up subscriptions.
Okay, so before we get new products, the new product newsletter is how you can get this delivered to your inbox. It's in your account. It's the only one that we would send you, but you have to ask for it, and it's kind of buried. Before we go on to new products, go to Hannah. You can spell it forward or back. Let's do this. Ready?
Yeah. New.
All right. Okay, first up.
We have some more melt ink filament. Made in the USA. These are really good quality filament. This is translucent. I mean, it's clear, but it's not perfectly clear, so it's called like translucent PLA material. Oh, hold on.
Live ink demo.
Hi, it's happening. So you can see it's like translucent. It's 2.85 millimeter. Great for your 3 millimeter machine. Most of the machines that we sell and use now are 3 millimeter rather than 1.75. So yeah, we got clear.
Yeah. We also have black.
We also got black, which I'll show. Same deal. PLA, very high quality. Noah and Pedro love this stuff. They say it's great. Made in Florida, which is a wonderful state as well.
That's right.
2.85 millimeter works great with your 3 millimeter machine. Nice Adafruit black.
Okay. Next up.
Okay.
Sensor.
Sorry, that was just me putting the film away. Okay. This is a Dean production. We've actually looked at the sensor. We actually shut off the sensor like a year ago on Descalay data. This is the AS7262 6-bin spectral sensor. So we've had some color sensors that can do red, green, blue sensing, so you can do like color temperature sensing. This is a very interesting sensor, and it has 6 bins. So it's not like a spectroscopy machine. Those are extremely expensive, but it does give you 6 bins, which is pretty good. If you illuminate something with broad spectrum light, you can see what colors reflected off of it. And like I said, most sensors only do red, green, and blue, and like they have a coating. This actually has like a tuned silicon grating, so it's kind of neat. It could be useful for scientific experiments, microfluidics, all sorts of like cool scientific stuff. Biology. I know, like, there's been a couple projects where people try to detect food based on spectral sensing. So
That's cool.
Hold on. So if I turn off the lights, you can see there is some red light because you can see it makes us look really good. The lights here are reddish, so you see like orange and red bins are high. And then if I turn on this light for the overhead,
Oh yeah.
you can see it's a very blue light. Because, and you can even tell it's kind of blue by looking here. It's a very bluish light. So you see the blue bin and then a yellow bin because it's it's LED light, so it's basically a blue LED with a yellow phosphor coating. Not as much red and not as much purple. We added a full spectrum LED on here. This demo doesn't show it because it would just blind you. 700K Kelvin color temperature LED that you can use to reflect off objects. That's what the datasheet specifies. So use one of those. Uses I2C. We have a CircuitPython and an Arduino library. It also has a UART interface that has like AT commands. So you could use this with a computer with like an FTDI or Scilabs cable. So if you have something that doesn't have I2C but does have UART, there's also a UART interface. You get it for free. And we just burn on the firmware for you. It has level shifting. It's just easy to use, and we have example code, again, for both Arduino IDE and also CircuitPython. So it's a really easy, fun sensor to use.
All right, and tonight, the star of the show, besides you and the Adafruit community, MetroX is here.
Yay!
Take the train to Learning Town.
Sorry, I got a little excited there.
All right, so it's here.
Okay, this is the Metro X. We've basically redesigned our learning electronic kits to use the Metro, and we've added a whole bunch of stuff as well. We actually had this is coming soon for a very long time, but we finally have it in the shop. So I'll just go through all you get. You get a Metro 328. It's Arduino IDE compatible. Just select Uno in the drop-down, and you can use it. Same. Comes with the LEDs on the edge, on-off power switch, which we like, CP2104. USB serial converter supported by all operating systems. You get a half-size breadboard, a breadboard mounting plate, some premium jumper wires. You get like 60 jumper wires. New, we added a character LCD, so you get a 16:2 character LCD, so that's fun. You can do some projects where it prints out stuff on a display. You get a 9-volt battery adapter. You get a micro USB cable to program and power and debug. Servo. 10 green LEDs, 1 big blue LED, 10 red LEDs, RGB LED, and you also get new in this kit an IR receiver, which is right here, and an IR remote. That's good for making remote control projects without needing to get like Bluetooth or Wi-Fi involved. Also have 2 buttons, a relay, 74HC595 motor, that's standard. We also are giving you a headphone jack. We're going to do some projects with audio, so giving you a headphone jack makes it really easy to plug in your headphones. Piezo beeper and a new upgraded booklet. Do you want me to show off the booklet? Because it's kind of cool.
We've been working on this forever.
So we redid the booklet. We've added fritzing diagrams, which we think will be easy for people to follow. New code examples in some places, and most importantly, on the Adafruit Learning System, we now have a Metro guide with even more examples. So this project book gives you 13 examples, but there's another 10.
Shout out to Brent who worked on this, who's in the chat. Looks pretty good, right, Brent? This is the first time I think you've seen it live.
Brent's like, when is this going to be done?
Yeah.
We finally did it. So he worked really hard all winter break. We had a couple updates. We wanted to like get everything ready to kit. But the Adafruit.it Metro X guide, check that out. That's Brent and Asher did a whole bunch of cool guides for this project. So not only do you get the 13 projects that are kind of standard here, but you'll also get a bunch of more circuit guides that kind of give you through the basics of like how to hook up an LCD, and then bigger projects like how to make an alarm clock, for example, that takes all the pieces that you've learned to make bigger and better projects. So we've got a really good base, and there's going to be more projects coming out soon.
Yeah, and we're all too good at InDesign now. Okay, so that's
really good at
Metro X.
InDesign. So that's Metro X. So pick that up. It's more. We've added more stuff than ever to this kit to make it the best way to learn how to program.
Zoom. Okay, Lady Ada.
Take me away, Metro
Ready?
X. Yep.
Okay.
New.
All right, what we got this week?
We got some 3mm melt ink clear filament, translucent filament, and also in Adafruit Black, great for your 3D printer. The AS7262 spectral sensor. This is a 6-bin red, orange, yellow, green, blue, violet sensor. You can see here an example showing on a little TFT. Good for bio projects and sensing light, color, reflecting off of objects. We finally released the Metro X, the experimenter's guide for Metro. Chock full of all sorts of stuff. We've added LCDs, infrared, remotes, upgraded the guide, and released a learning system guide that has 20 projects and tutorials that you can build with this kit. It's everything you could want from Metro. Take the train.
New products.
Thanks, everyone.
Okay, well, you're probably like, I'd like to support this cool company with all these tutorials and guides and all these people
And
doing
maybe
stuff.
get 10% off.
Yeah, so use this code on checkout. All right, we're going to answer some questions. Post them up in Discord.
Yeah.
Where is it? It's adafruit.it/Discord. All right, so not a question, but Brent's in chat. He learned InDesign kind of for this. All the diagrams were in fritzing, high quality.
Yep, we redid. We
Okay.
redrew everything and QA'd and redid. We actually upgraded some of the components to be GoOS compatible
Okay.
as well.
First question. I'm new to 3D printing. Can you print food that you can eat? Yeah, sort of. There's that. Check out the Pancake Bot.
Pancake Bot.
That,
yeah.
That's the one, and the maker story
There's
behind
some
that is really good.
chocolate printers too,
And
but
then,
usually people don't. It's not as common.
and then part two is whose idea was to compare everything to a quarter? Well, I think you started doing that when you were just taking the photos because people are like, "What's the size?"
This was before bananas became the standard unit of measurement.
Yeah.
And if you look online, a lot of companies have always used quarters, and so I was like,
Yeah.
well, it seems like it's a standard thing to do, so I sort of started doing it.
Okay. Next up, is 3D Touch feasible by putting a cap touch panel on top of a resistive touch screen?
No, I think the resistive touch, because it's ITO, it's got this conductive layer, it might mess up your capacitive touch. There are like 3D touch type sensors. I know Microchip has like the MGC 3130, which is like a 3D touch gesture sensor. It just doesn't work great, by the way. The stuff is really hard.
Next up, can the spectral sensor be used to measure the color temperature of the sun, later replaced by a matrix of neopixels?
Yeah.
You could take it to other stars too.
Yeah, you
have
can
to
you
get
can
there.
definitely point it at the sun and see what
Okay.
bins come out.
Are we gonna have a 4G phono?
Not yet, but we're thinking about how to do it. We might go to LTE.
Okay. Why isn't the on-air lines? I think
it's
think
gotta
Twitch
apply-
changed their API one week, and then I left it
Yeah.
unplugged, so that's why.
I'm gonna look at it.
Next up, how do you uninstall Circuit Python in a Circuit Playground?
All you have to do is, if you want to use MakeCode, just load up the MakeCode script you want, and then double-click to get to the bootloader, and then drag your MakeCode script, and that will replace CircuitPython. If you're using Arduino, do the same thing. Double-click to get to bootloader mode, then select like the Blink example sketch, and then just select the serial port, upload, and then you will have erased the CircuitPython. Your code will still be on the SD little the SPI flash, but you will no longer have the CircuitPython runtime.
Yeah, just make sure you put CircuitPython back on it.
Yeah.
All right. Any tips for connecting multiple grounds to feathers when you're not using a breadboard? They currently slice them, but only remember Noah having some other ways to connect multiples.
Yeah, I mean, it's tough. If you're on a breadboard, that's the easiest to get a ground plane. There's often multiple grounds, like in the corner. Sometimes there's an extra ground. You could use JST cables and like connect two JST cables end to end to create like a little connector, and then you could connect two of them together, the power and ground.
Okay. All right.
Ideas.
Feather proto board or terminal block is a suggestion.
Terminal, yeah, the terminal feather wing is a good one, but it's only one feather at a time. You could, I don't know.
Okay. And we can have a Circuit Playground express the Bluetooth or Wi-Fi. Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, it's just a matter of time.
It's just we're waiting for the right chipsets to come out, and then we're gonna do
Yeah.
it. We're gonna do it right.
Yeah, I mean, one thing to consider is as soon as that M0 chip came out, look at all the stuff we did. So there's stuff a brewing, as they say.
Brewing.
Okay, can you have more than two I2C MEMS microphones on a Raspberry Pi M0 Feather? And if so, how do you set that up?
Yeah. For I2S, there's a select pin. If you have all the pins connected and one select pin high on a I2S microphone and the other one, the select pin is low, they will automatically create a stereo microphone signal for you.
And the two last questions. When you refer to JSTs, do you mean JST XHS?
It depends. When I talk about the feather, it's a JST PH. When I say JST, I just mean a board to wire connector, and the actual part number may vary from board to board, but usually it's a JST PH.
Mac or PC, both. There's room for all of us in all operating systems. When will the solar charger have a micro USB jack?
I don't know. We're probably going to redesign it, and when we redesign, that's when we update to a micro USB.
Okay. All right, Lady Ada, well, it's time to give away something. What do you want to give away this week?
We're going to give away a Metro X Classic kit.
Really? That's a big giveaway. So there must be some specific rules about all this.
There are,
Yeah.
but the rules are pretty simple.
Yeah.
There's 3 rules. 1, you have to call the phone number that appears on the screen when it appears. It's not there yet, but maybe you know it. And we'll turn on the phone, and then when you call, I'm going to pick up the phone. I'm going to ask you your name, where you're calling from, and a project that you've built, worked on. Sorry, a project that you've built or worked on or made or that you want to make, and then you'll have to email support, and then we'll get you your kit.
Yeah. And this is the phone number. You just have to translate these letters into numbers, and most phones still have this on it.
So
it's
call this
own bit
number.
Stab.
Don't
Own
hang up.
bit Stab.
I'm going to say hello a couple times
Yeah,
because
you're
that
gonna
seems
say
to
hello.
help.
Yeah. So whoever calls. All right.
Wait, 2 rings.
Yeah, we do 2 rings.
Hello? Hello?
Hello?
Hello, you've called
Hello?
Ask Engineer, and you're the winner. Congratulations.
Hi.
Yay!
Um,
What's your name and where are you calling from?
It's Jake from Milford area of Connecticut.
Okay, Jake from Connecticut. Well, what's a project you're working on or you want to work on?
I'm working on an Apple Watch dock 3D printed.
Ooh, that's cool. All right, so 3D printing, fun. Well, we're going to send you out a free Metro X kit. All you have to do is email support@adafruit.com. That's support at adafruit.com and say, hey, was it Nate or Nick? Sorry. What was your name again?
Jake.
Jake. Oh, sorry. It's been a day. Jake from Connecticut. And say, I'm not good with names. I'm good with electronics. And say, I won a product 170. 170.
Okay.
And they're going to send that to you to Connecticut. All right, well, thanks for calling.
Awesome.
Have a great night. Bye-bye. Sorry
right.
about that.
That's fine.
I'm not good at names, but I'm good with electronics.
Well, it's late.
All right. Well, Jake, you're going to
Okay.
get a Metro X kit. Congratulations.
And if you're like, I still want to feel like I won, you can use this code on the checkout. It's like winning. All right. Lydia, that's our show for tonight. So remember, everybody, next week, JP will be doing his show during Ask an Engineer
Special edition.
slot, and then Noah and Pedro will be running the show until.
And we got the Ada box and
Yeah.
Next week's going to be exciting, so you
Yep.
won't miss us. Don't worry.
Yep, we'll take some
Plenty-
photos. Lady Ada has a talking thing that she's going to do for educators, so we'll try to get video and more from that. And that's our show. So thank you so much, everybody. Thank you to the Adafruit community, all of the remote team members, all the team members here, all of our partners out there like DigiKey and Microsoft for helping this thing going on, and the community that does this.
Code Plus community.
Yeah, every week I get really tired. I'm like, I don't want to do this anymore. But then, like, after show and tell, I'm like, okay, like, I can do this.
That's kind of fun. We got lots of cool
Yeah,
stuff.
it actually is, like, energizing.
It's nice.
Yeah, it's weird that energy can come from somewhere.
We said we just sit in a dark room and we punch numbers into computers.
Random numbers,
Random
hoping it-
numbers.
hoping
And
it
hope
works
that
out.
something works out.
Yeah,
That's pretty much what we do.
yeah. And, the interview with Untitled, one of the things that we're talking about is the history of, like, learning coding.
Yeah.
And one of the things that's new is you can actually code together. You can do community
That's true.
projects together. Like, it is possible now. That's one of the newest things. Before it was
But
like,
you don't have
well,
to be in the same room.
yeah.
So that's
kinda
kind of cool. You can
All right.
join Discord.
That's where they could go.
That's where they can go. Code together.
All right.
All right,
And don't
thanks,
forget
Ron.
to sign up for the Adafruit Daily newsletter. Especially the Circuit Python one. Python for hardware.
Look at this friendly Python.
Yeah. All right.
Look at her. She's so friendly.
All right. Thanks so much, everybody. We'll see you next week. And here's your moment of Zener.
Good night, everybody.
And we'll have some music to play us out.
Sweet.
Thank you.